What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Wicked Sports. This is Miami Minute, where we cover my favorite team, the Miami Dolphins. And since the last Miami Minute we did, which is when I was covering the surprise firing, in my opinion, of Brian Flores, a lot has, of course, happened. First and foremost, Brian Flores is suing the team primarily around Stephen Ross offering him $100,000 per game to throw games in the 2019 season. And then again, he is claiming that Stephen Ross set up a meeting between Brian Flores and Tom Brady on his yacht during the tampering period when Tom Brady was looking for a new team. The lawsuit primarily, though, is about how there's systematic racism in the NFL, something that I think is plainly obvious. But I am concerned it's going to be extremely difficult for Flores to prove, and I'm worried that he is going to be blacklisted. Maybe he will be able to kind of shine a light on the systematic issues, but I don't know. There's 31 white billionaire owners, and they're probably just going to close rank. Maybe the thing that will come out of it is that Stephen Ross will get in trouble. Best case for me as a Dolphins fan, he'll have to sell the team with that, but most likely they'll just fine him, maybe take a pick away. And then Brian Flores, who I think is a really talented, intelligent coach, is going to not be in the league anymore, which I think sucks. Not only for him, not only for the game in general, but again, he is a very talented and smart defensive coach, someone who deserves to be a head coach, someone who I didn't think should be fired, but that's just what happened, and I can see the owners potentially blacklisting him. I mean, they said that he was up for a job in Houston with the Texans, and then that eventually went to Lovie Smith. And now the only other place potentially going to hire him is the New Orleans Saints. We'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens with the lawsuit. If any more comes out specifically about the Dolphins, I'll let you know. It's a difficult thing as a white dude to talk about just because, I have not lived the same experiences Brian Flores has. As a white guy, I never have to concern myself necessarily with how my actions reflect the actions of a community. That's a privilege of being white, is a lot of times when you do something, those things really only reflect on you. You don't carry the burden of how your actions might reflect on a wider community like Brian Flores does, and why he was reluctant to throw games and why he was reluctant to break the rules to meet with Tom Brady. So it's a complicated situation, one that I think is plainly obvious on Flores' part, but one that I just have a feeling won't go anywhere regarding Flores specifically. Maybe he is sacrificing his standing within the league to bring light and make it better for the future, but I don't know. It's a shitty situation. I support Brian Flores, obviously. Again, I wish the Dolphins didn't fire him, but that's where we are here with the Dolphins hiring Mike McDaniel from the 49ers. He was an offensive coordinator. He will be, 38, one of the younger head coaches in the league, which is exciting. He comes from the Kyle Shanahan staff. Kyle Shanahan, of course, son of Mike Shanahan, someone who has really done a great job of scheming certain zone running, which I think will be extremely helpful for the Dolphins moving forward, will be helpful for Tua, provided they fix the offensive line. Again, every Miami Minute, I have to talk about how terrible the offensive line was. I think, too, one of the things when they fired Brian Flores, just from like the football perspective, was, hey, he's a great defensive mind. He had a decent run of it these last 2 years, but both times they did not make the playoffs. And a big reason they did not make the playoffs was because they got blown out in week 17 both years. They could not keep up offensively with either the Buffalo Bills losing, 56-26, or the Tennessee Titans losing 34-3 this past year. The NFL is moving toward an offensive game. I mean, it's been moving for a long time, but we're fully in the era of high-powered offenses and scheming. And I think the hope was that Brian Flores was going to be able to find an offensive coordinator to come in here and kind of reinvent the offense. The hiring of Mike McDaniel does just that. It's going to reinvigorate the offense. I'm excited to see what they can do with Tua, who's, a more athletic quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo. I think he's more accurate than Jimmy Garoppolo is in San Francisco. We have Jalen Waddle, who's just an excellent athlete, has really top-tier speed. I'm very interested to see how they're going to use him. This year he had a great season, but he was primarily used in the short passing game. So we'll see what kind of schemes Mike McDaniel is going to run. And I think he's going to come in here and really focus on the offensive line, focus on the run game, because San Francisco, even this year, even with injuries, excelled when their running game was excelling. I mean, heck, a couple years ago when they made the Super Bowl, Jimmy Garoppolo hardly passed. It was their running game, running for over 200 yards on the Green Bay Packers. So it's kind of fascinating. He's a bit of a mix between a new school philosophy of coming up with these kind of schemes that you may not have seen before in the NFL, and the old school ball control offense. Keep your defense on the sideline, keep them fresh, when they have to come out there, they're at the top of their game. And I think if they can successfully implement that type of an offense here in Miami with Tua, who, is a smart quarterback. He makes some bad throws, but a lot of those throws are trying to get something going, in my opinion. If we can have a running game that kind of forces the defense to come up and play the run, which we have not had either of the last 2 years, hardly at all, outside of like 1 or 2 games per season. I think we can see a huge jump in how Tua plays, and we will know for sure whether or not there is a future for Tua in this league under Mike McDaniel. So from that aspect, I'm quite excited as a Dolphins fan. Again, we'll see where the investigation goes with the Brian Flores lawsuit, whether or not there'll be any repercussions for the Dolphins in terms of draft picks, in terms of fines, in terms of maybe Stephen Ross will have to sell the team. I think that's quite unlikely, but, the other things are more likely. So we'll see where that goes. As a Dolphins fan, if you're watching this, what are your thoughts on Mike McDaniel? Are you excited with how he can potentially reinvigorate the run game, kind of take Tua to the next level, take Jalen Waddle to the next level? How are they going to use Mike Gesicki, provided he sticks around or they tag him? It's giving me optimism, although it doesn't take much. My will hasn't fully been broken by the Dolphins yet. We'll see in a few years, if I'm still doing this show, whether this was a good hire. But for now, of the options on the board, I think McDaniel was the best option. And I would love to hear if you feel the same way. So leave us a comment in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for checking out this episode of Miami Minute on Wicked Good Sports. We have more episodes coming almost every single day of the week. And if you want even more content, subscribe to our main channel, youtube.com/WickedEverything, and our podcasting channel, Better Radio. We're on Twitter at WickedSport or WG Everything, Instagram at Wicked Everything, twitch.tv/Wicked Everything, and on TikTok, search Wicked Good Sports, search Wicked Everything. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.